circumstances surrounding the Chris Kaba incident, aka Itch, aka Maddix, from 6-7, has drawn a lot of attention into how people in urban community treat each other. Now, there's been a ton of outrage that a police officer fatally shot Chris at the end of a car chase in Streatham Hill. Now remember, the police cars had trapped Chris's Audi, and also police have already confirmed that Chris was unarmed. Now, in people's mind, because Chris was deemed unarmed, that essentially computes to he was deemed not a threat. So how can it be that he lost his life? How can his life be considered less important than a person from a more affluent community, or a different race or gender, for example? You have one group of people absolutely devastated that police fired on a 24-year-old. You have people saying, "We're turning into America," how police use deadly force now, and this sets a precedence as to what police officers can get away with. There's no accountability. We don't matter. And when I say we, I mean the collective we. Now, it doesn't help that more and more officers have been jailed due to crimes. Wayne Couzens, Michael Lockett, Adam Proven. But first and foremost, let me just say, I do not condone a person losing their life. It's tragic, no matter which way you look at it. Now, you have a second group of people that say, well, Chris Kaba was a known GM and how he should have stopped for police, and by not complying with direct orders, he put himself in danger. Actions have consequences. No one is above the law. The fact of the matter is, it's all true. Anyone can base their opinions and use it to influence the narrative. Hindsight is a beautiful thing. Now, Tricky elaborated on the caution men have to take navigating through this world, and young Teflon countered the argument by saying, "Are we really comparing violence to police brutality? Seriously, now of all times? Go read up on the role and duty of an officer, then compare it with a GM or criminal." Now, the loss of a life is serious. It's seriously low. And an officer is supposed to protect the general public against all threats. Ultimately, the preservation of life comes first, for you, for me, and for that officer. If an officer sees a threat and a potential risk, then ultimately, they will make sure their friends, their colleagues, and themselves go home at the end of the day, back to their children, back to their wives, back to their family. Now, I don't believe we have reached a stage where officers are trigger happy and wanting to catch a body. I believe it was a highly tense situation where adrenaline was pumping and a decision was made, however rash. It's devastating that a young man lost their life, but to be fair, if we can't care about each other, then why would a police officer? In the drill scene and gang culture, you have people dying over words such as "I'm tougher," "I can beat you up." A life can be lost for something as simple as being called a name, or stepping on a trainer, or simply working hard and buying yourself designer clothes or jewellery. There's always snakes and leeches and vermin trying to get what you have. Now, some of us act like we have no parents and then want to scream justice when the opportune moment arises. And that's not a reflection of Chris Kaba or his upbringing. I'm talking about the community and as a culture. You can't protest on a Saturday about injustice and then on a Monday resume normal activities and then diss a dead person and go on social media and start talking about this person and that person and that person, and then potentially robbing another person just because they have what you want. It's not real, it's not being honest. All you're doing is carrying the same stigma which these people have been painted with. Again, condolences to Chris Kaba. Stay safe.